I think we've discussed the last few weeks about Rangers. They need more football people in the club. They need more football experience. They needed, for me, a director of football. I know Josh has got a piece coming on the site at some point this morning, looking into this deal and perhaps how the rest of the structure could unfold. I would like to see more football people brought into the club.
Yep.
Right now, I would have left Neil's in charge of the recruitment side of it, and I would have brought in some more people to oversee their respective areas. It's a big shift away from what the club have been operating like over the last couple of seasons. To use a John Bennett phrase, they gave the keys to an individual. They then decided to give the keys to a process. That's why the football board was implemented, why it was created, why you had the likes of the manager on there, the chairman on there, but you then had the individual heads of department, whether that be the academy, whether that be sports science or medical, as it was with Dr. Waller. And for me, that was a good setup. I think it allowed people with their specialities to go and run their respective departments and then feed into a collective rather than giving one man too much power. I think Rangers have been stung by that previously, and you have to say they're still paying the price of that in terms of other people that have held positions of influence there over recent seasons. So for me, I like that setup. Now they've also lost a number of individuals from that. Those individuals had to be replaced. As I said, I'd like to have seen a sporting director come in there. So it's not to say that Niels can't go and do this job. He may well be the type of guy, and I think he is. He's driven, he's motivated, he's clearly invested. He looks like the kind of guy that could go and do this job, but we look at where Rangers are and how significant it is. I would like to have seen someone who's actually got a track record of doing it, rather than hoping that someone can be a chief exec, rather than hoping that someone can go from a first team coach to a Rangers manager, rather than hoping that someone can go from a recruitment head to, in effect, a director of football with remits in so many areas. I would like to have seen someone that's actually got that particular track record. So I do understand the reaction to it yesterday. It was not overwhelmingly positive, and again, I think a lot of that was a frustration about so many other areas at the club. I don't think it was a negative on Coppin as such. I don't think people are upset that he's got the job. I think they're upset at how it's kind of come about and what it actually means.
Yep, agreed with that one. There's many points coming in. Nevitt says, agree, Chris, why announce this before the CEO and chairman? And a number of people were saying this yesterday on the video. Of course, Rangers have been tight-lipped with regards to that. They did say in their statement yesterday that Coppin, alongside the manager and the women's football director, will be reporting to the CEO when they are appointed. There's murmurings that it is moving along and nearing some sort of completion stage, Chris, but no official word from the club as yet on the CEO and the chairman at this point in time. I know John Gilligan, when he came out and gave that interview to ourselves and the other media outlets in that press conference, and also to Sky, he says the hope was to have someone in before Christmas time. Where are the club with regards to those two roles?
In terms of the chief exec, not heard a lot on that one of late. Still certainly looking towards those timescales that John outlined. And I think as we've discussed previously, it was, or the thing you always had to have in mind was, is there a notice period that someone would have to work? So just you could go and appoint someone on Monday. Doesn't mean to say that they can start first thing Tuesday morning. So I think that it will be some time yet before the chief exec is actually in and been through that process of, here's what I've actually walked into in a business sense, and here's what I've walked into in a football sense. And we know full well what the next couple of weeks could hold for Rangers in a football sense, and some of the decisions that chief exec could have to make fairly quickly. chairman, I believe, is progressing well. I do expect that to be soon. That appointment will be the first one. That's definitely going to be the one that is announced first and in place. And obviously, we're looking at the AGM in what three weeks or so now.
That'll be interesting.
It should be interesting. I think we often talk these things up and say the shareholders and the fans, they'll go, and it's a chance to actually hear other directors speak that you never actually hear from. It's a chance to hold them to account. And how many times have we walked away from them thinking that was all just a bit bland and a bit nothing? Yeah. I don't think the format helps at times. The Q&A format of it is very difficult unless you have people that are organised and can actually put pertinent points and can then come back in with a pertinent point. It can become quite easy for directors to kind of weasel their way out of actually answering questions properly. So I think I'd be wary about talking up the AGM too much. I don't think we're going to get fireworks just because we very rarely do. But I would hope and I would think that we would have a Rangers chairman by that stage. I think it's really important that they do have someone in, and that AGM does become the first chance for the new chairman to address the shareholders and the supporters directly.